Hey, what's going on, guys? I want to open with something that might sound a little weird. I actually almost didn't make this video, not because I had nothing to say, but because I wanted to be really sure I had enough real experience with this platform before I said anything publicly about it, because that's kind of the whole thing for me, right? I don't talk about stuff until I've actually lived inside it long enough to have an honest opinion. And I've been doing that, testing platforms, running projects, figuring out what's real and what's smoke for a few years now, and the thing that keeps pulling my attention lately is mining infrastructure specifically, because I think there's a version of this technology that most people just haven't caught up to yet. So a couple weeks ago, I started running this platform properly, not just a quick look, but actual consistent sessions over time, and I've now got enough data and enough personal experience with it to sit down and say, okay, let's go through this together. And then right at the end, I want to share something that I think is genuinely undervalued in this community, how to actually think about your own safety in this space. All right, so page is loaded up and I'm clicking launch. And there we go, dashboard is open. So this is the control center, essentially. Everything I need to set up, monitor, and manage a session is sitting right here. This is the starting point every time. Okay, so first thing I'm doing is selecting a token. And I think this feature deserves more attention than it usually gets. The platform is built on multi-chain technology, which means I'm sitting here right now with 14 different assets I can choose to work with. And that's not just padding out a feature list, that's a genuinely useful range that gives me real flexibility depending on what I'm holding at any given time. Okay, token is in, now I'm moving into the power settings. So what I'm configuring here is basically the horsepower of the session, how deep the system digs in terms of resources, how much computing capacity gets pulled in, what the overall intensity of this run is gonna look like. All right, okay, I'm good with these settings. Going ahead and pressing start now. And yes, okay, session is live. So the console is running in real time. I've got elapsed time, current resource load, and my session progress. And over here, there's a live log feed that gives me a window into exactly how the system is behaving while it runs. So I'm gonna let this sit for a few minutes, and after that, I'll take you through exactly what the process looks like on the other side of a completed session. Okay, so I think a few good minutes have gone by. Let me bring this session to a close now. Okay, pop-up is right here on screen. Session is wrapped, and it's showing me right here the exact token count that came out of this run. So, to actually BNB moved out, step one is entering the receiving address. Let me just take care of that right now. Okay, that's entered. Next thing is handling the infrastructure covering, and that's essentially the system's charge for the session, which gets derived from the configuration I had running and the total duration of the run. Makes complete sense as a model. Also, I'm not limited to any single specific token when it comes to covering it. I can just use whatever feels most convenient right now. Okay, everything is filled out, tapping I've sent right here, and now it's just processing. That should clear out pretty fast. So while that's doing its thing, let me get into the part of this video that I actually think matters the most. I want to quickly cover what cloud mining actually is, because I know the people watching this aren't all coming from the same level of familiarity with it. So the concept is honestly pretty stripped down when you break it apart. Rather than purchasing physical mining hardware, setting it up in-house, running it around the clock, and watching electricity bill go up, you're accessing computing infrastructure that already exists and is already running inside a professional data center. You come in, you set session parameters, the system does the actual work on their end, and whatever gets mined comes back to your wallet. No hardware, no setup process, no ongoing costs. And because that sounds so low friction and accessible, this particular niche has always been a magnet for bad actors. Fake platforms are well constructed on the surface, and what makes this problem so persistent is that this whole space just fundamentally doesn't slow down. New platforms emerge constantly, new narratives take hold every few weeks, and that relentless pace creates this environment where taking the time to be careful starts to feel like a liability. People who design projects understand that dynamic deeply and they engineer around it. So a few things that are just part of my default process now whenever I'm looking at something new. First thing, I actually move through the product as a user. I navigate, I try things, I see what the experience actually feels like from the inside when I'm genuinely interacting with it. If it feels like no one ever did a real user test before shipping, awkward flows, things that almost function, navigation that fights you at every step, that is a direct signal about how much care actually went into what was built, and by extension, who built it. Second thing, I always pull funds off the platform and into a wallet where I hold the private keys, and do it as soon as I reasonably can. Don't leave things sitting somewhere because it's convenient. Make that automatic move every time. Honestly, that single habit has probably protected me more times than I'm even aware of. So, okay, over the past few weeks, I've run this platform through more than 30 sessions. I've used basically every token it supports. I've paid close attention to how every single step behaves, the session setup, the fee calculation, the withdrawal process, all of it. And I've approached every one of those sessions with the same skepticism I bring to anything new, actively looking for the point where something feels off. And I never found it. Not in the numbers, not in the process, not in how the platform communicates what's happening at each step. Everything was consistent, everything was transparent, and nothing at any point gave me a reason to stop and question what I was looking at. And for someone who goes into every test expecting to eventually find a crack, that is honestly the most honest endorsement I know how to give.